Tonight, I'm Rodan Gonzi. Joining us in a bit in sign language, Mugalu Mohammed. For now, let's take a look at the top stories for the night. President Museveni opens Uganda-China South-South Cooperation Conference. Prime Minister Dr. Hakana Rugunda rallies Lamour residents on development. While Catholic priests jailed for abusing deaf children in Argentina. And in the world of sports, league coaches to attend national teams training sessions. Hello once more. President Yoweri Museveni wants rice growers to adapt the growing of upland rice and other improved varieties which do not necessarily do well in wetlands. Mr. Museveni is concerned that growing rice in the wetlands is interfering with the ecosystem and contributing to environmental degradation. The president was gracing the 10th anniversary of the Food and Agriculture Organization and Uganda-China South-South Cooperation being held in Kampala.
The People's Republic of China has supported Uganda's agricultural sector for the last 10 years through the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations. While addressing the delegates, President Yoweri Museveni raised concern over growing of rice in wetlands, emphasizing that it is partly contributing to environmental degradation. He urged the population to embrace the growing of upland rice and other improved varieties which do not require cultivating wetlands.
One of the things I want to change, I don't like this swamp rice, because swamp rice here is dangerous, because they grow it in the Nile tributaries. What they call swamps are actually not swamps. They are tributaries of the Nile. They are branches of the Nile. So they dry those branches, and I want to stop it. So what I like, I don't know this rice you are talking about, whether it can grow on dry land or irrigated land. I don't mind irrigation, but I don't like growing rice in the swamp. It's very dangerous for the environment. But if we can pull the water from the river and you grow the rice, then that's very good.
President Museveni applauded the People's Republic of China for aiding the development of agricultural sector for Uganda and other African countries. He urged African leaders to work towards growing the market for the products they can produce in order to develop their economies.
If you produce and nobody buys, then the business will not continue. As I speak today, there's a lot of milk. The internal market is not enough, because one of the problems of Africa, which you should know, is the fragmentation of the market. Africa is a huge continent with a population which is growing of 1.3 billion. It will be 2.5 billion in the next few years. But the problem has been that the market is fragmented because of the colonial fragmentation. We are solving this through economic integration. That's why we have formed the CFTA, the Continental Free Trade Area.
China has pledged more support to Uganda's agricultural sector with $2.4 million US, approximately 8 billion Uganda shillings, and a tripartite agreement has been signed to this effect. Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Vincent Sempija, emphasized that Uganda needs to add value to her agricultural products in order to attract more markets.
These are measures that developing countries like Uganda are adapting to accelerate our poverty.
The agricultural sector has been singled out as one of the key sectors that can help in achieving the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Bella Masangano, Adia Nakuti and Gwitabinji Gloria for UBC News.
Well, also, the president has sounded a strong warning to all those that are involved in soliciting bribes and other tendencies of corruption, especially from foreign investors, that they will be crushed and dealt with decisively. The president was speaking during the launch of a book that is titled Uganda's March to Industrialization 1986 to 2040. It has been authored by Minister in charge of General Duties in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mary Karoro Okrut. The ceremony took place last evening at State House in Tebe. Now, the book highlights Uganda's journey to industrialization and infrastructure as the infrastructural development as the key areas to development.
Even political people who say they are politicians. When we got independence here, we had parties based on identity. One political party was for the Catholics, another one for the Protestants, another one for the Baganda, you know? And people were talking openly about those identity parties. Ours, Megwa. That again represented a fundamental misunderstanding of modern economies. If you produce a product or a service and nobody buys, or not enough buyers come forward, the business is going to collapse. So all these buyers, whatever religion they are, whatever tribe they are, whatever race they are, they help you. They support our prosperity. The more buyers we have, the more prosperous we shall become. The more successful will the business be. So when we came into government, one of the first things we did was to revive the East African community. People had broken it up because they didn't understand. They didn't understand that economic community is a matter of survival. It's not whether you like me or not. Whether you like me or not, you need me.
Once by one, thank you. The book is not only about infrastructure. There is so much more. I wanted to thank the people who have assisted me, but there are too many and I will make a mistake. But there's National Planning Authority. I requested them to author the last chapter, which they did. I really want to appreciate you. So this book is the beginning of a conversation. It is the beginning of a dialogue. When you read it and you find any shortfall, inform me, because there will be another edition coming, so that whatever we have left out can come in here.
Meanwhile, President Yoweri Museveni has said that the two major causes of teenage pregnancies are bad cultural practices and poverty, adding that there is need to define the challenges properly. The president made the remarks last evening at Kampala Sheraton Hotel during the fundraising and launching of the Queen Abenacho Foundation, whose target is to raise 1 billion shillings to fight against child marriages and teenage pregnancies. The president pledged a donation of 100 million shillings to the organization, whose brainchild is Miss World Africa Queen Abenacho. Parliamentary Speaker Rebecca Kadaga is the patron of the foundation. The president also bought a child's portrait at 20 million shillings. During the fundraising, President Museveni said that the fundamental solution to the challenges posed by teenage pregnancies is in a systematic approach to the universal primary and secondary education programs, adding that the two programs have played a leading role in keeping children in schools. He therefore called for total support to him and to the government to further promote the education of children in Uganda. He used the occasion to once again appeal to some educationists who levy illegal fees and lead children to dropping out of school to stop the habit forthwith. He also blamed the elected officials in the Parents Teachers Association for introduction of illegal fees. Parliamentary Speaker Rebecca Kadaga saluted the President for supporting Queen Abenacho in the fight against child marriages and teenage pregnancies. The Kolo District Member of Parliament, Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, commended Abenacho for the positive role she has played in the society. The Nabagereka of Uganda, Her Royal Highness Najinda Luswata, expressed admiration for Miss Abenacho for her strong stand in the fight against teenage pregnancies. She noted that teenage pregnancies put the lives of girls in a vicious cycle of poverty. She called for legal framework to be used to do away with the perpetrators of the child pregnancies. UNICEF country representative Dr. Doreen Mulenga said that 25th November marks the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women. She observed that over 40% of the girls in Uganda marry before the age of 18. 2018 Miss World Africa Abenacho, on her part, said that her foundation has targets for coverage of all regions in Uganda within 5 years. She saluted the President, the First Lady, Parliamentary Speaker Rebecca Kadaga and Nabagereka Najinda for their continued support. Now, away from that, Vice President Edward Chiwanuka II has said that the cooperation under the China-Africa Friendship Association, Uganda, FAO, Sichuan province of China, is a historic friend since it was the first contact province of the collaboration agenda between Uganda and China under consortium arrangement. Speaking during a meeting with the delegation from Sichuan province, led by the Director, Sichuan Provincial Department of Agriculture and Rural Affairs in the Division of Exchange and Cooperation, Li Yoping, the Vice President said that Uganda is in a key position to reap more benefits from the third phase of the South-to-South cooperation and the 10th anniversary of Africa-China Poverty Reduction and Development Conference. The Vice President was pleased to note that the concrete agreements have been signed between Greater Masaka Consortium and the Young City, as well as between Mutesa One Royal University and Sichuan College of Agricultural Technology. The Vice President added that efforts of China government in improving agriculture are synonymous with reducing poverty and bettering the lives of Ugandans. He thanked Sichuan province for upping the efforts to improve the agricultural sector and added that the conference will further find solutions to improving agricultural production, productivity and market for farmers' produce. Mr. Li Yuping said that Uganda is a priority partner with Sichuan province and with endeavor to have permanent relations in strategic areas in agriculture. He extended an invitation to the Vice President to visit China and the Sichuan province in particular as they mark the Great Harvest period early next year. Now, that function was attended by the Deputy Principal Private Secretary to the Vice President, Vincent Chitiamwesi, the proprietor of Victory School of Beauty and Vocational Skills Empowerment, Robert Kasibante, and youth from the Greater Masaka Consortium. Let's now take a quick break. When we return, more details. This is News Tonight.
The Uganda Demographic Survey of 2016 found that 56% of ever-married women have experienced spousal violence and 22% of women aged 15 to 49 have experienced sexual violence. This is why the 16 Days of Activism campaign is conducted every year to end violence against women and girls. This year will run from the 25th November till 10th December. So join us as we orange the world to end violence against women and girls. This message is brought to you by UN Women and Embassy of Sweden.
Send money from Airtel to Airtel at 60% discounted rates. Yes, you can now send money for as low as 100 shillings and a maximum of 1,000 shillings. And that's not all. You can now withdraw up to 7 million shillings from your nearest Airtel money agent for as low as 12,500 shillings. Remember, depositing money is free, buying airtime through Airtel Money is free, Airtel Money and PIN registration is free. Do not pay any transaction charges directly to the agent, and never share your PIN number with anyone. Enjoy the lowest rates on sending and withdrawing money on Airtel Money today. Airtel Money, simple, instant, secure. Airtel, the smartphone network.
His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni will on the 4th of December 2019 lead Uganda in a walk against corruption. The State House Anti-Corruption Unit will be celebrating 1 year of fighting corruption. The President will be joined by the Right Honorable Speaker, His Lordship the Chief Justice, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, other government officials, traditional and civil society leaders. Themed A Corruption-Free Uganda. It starts with me. The walk will start at 8 a.m. from the Constitutional Square to Kololo Airstrip. The Chief Walker, His Excellency General Yoweri Museveni, invites Ugandans passionate about ending corruption now to join him and other government officials in the walk of reaffirmation in the fight against corruption. Let's continue fighting corruption together.
Kickstart your holiday in style and be part of the grand family party organized by your very own Eteza Mutokana, a known children entertainer and mother. It will be fun, it will be exciting, it will be memorable with lots of prizes to be won. It's going to be the best of the children's end of year party on the 1st of December 2019 in the UBC Gardens, hosted by Eteza Mutokana. Lots of entertainment including live performances from Uganda's finest, Fresh Kid, Pastor Wilson Bugembe, Kapiripiti.
Yagoba tegeza ngenaku z'omwezi nga lumu December tugenda beera ku UBC Gardens abato mujje tugalewo omwaka.
Ghetto Kids.
We are the Troopers Ghetto Kids.
Yes, on the 1st December tugenda beera ku UBC end of year party.
Yeah.
Let's all be there. You know how we do it.
All the
we
kids come have a good time.
Let's have a good time. You know how we do it.
How we do
Straight up from the
You know what I'm talking about. You know.
Wembley, Yo-Yo, Uganda's best dance group, and comedians like Singer Sebanga and many others. Gets open at 7 a.m. Entrance 10K only and parents free. Come unwind, eat, dance, sing, enjoy the bouncing castle, motor rides, camel rides, ice cream, quiz, swimming, sack races, tag of war, face painting, nyama choma, and candle floss. This party is organized by UBC, Inspiring Uganda.
The Electoral Commission informs the general public of the Voters Register update starting on the 21st of November to 11th December 2019. This will be a self-reporting exercise to provide personal details. A person who is already registered as a voter in Uganda must not register again. A voter who wishes to transfer to a new voting location must present confirmation that he or she is now a resident of the parish of that new voting location. The exercise will enable registered voters to confirm accuracy of their particulars on the register and correct any errors identified on the National Voters Register. The details of eligible learners registered under the Learners Project in 2017 who have attained the age of 18 will be updated. Such learners should present themselves at the registration or update center with their national identification number. The Commission has appointed Wednesday, 11th December 2019 as the cutoff date for registration of voters in Uganda. Announced by the Chairperson, Electoral Commission.
The Uganda Demographic Survey of 2016 found that 56% of ever-married women have experienced spousal violence and 22% of women aged 15 to 49 have experienced sexual violence. This is why the 16 Days of Activism campaign is conducted every year to end violence against women and girls. This year will run from the 25th November till 10th December. So join us as we orange the world to end violence against women and girls. This message is brought to you by UN Women and Embassy of Sweden.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Tonight. In business news, Uganda Breweries is to reduce its water usage by 50% by 2020. The move puts into consideration water scarcity and a skyrocketing urban population, which is putting more strain on existing water sources.
Uganda Breweries has unveiled a water recovery plant worth over 10 billion shillings. The plant, located at Luzira, aims at reducing the amount of water used in the alcoholic beverages production process. The company has a strategic plan of reducing its water use by 50% by next year.
Our pressure on water as a natural resource is rather obvious. But I believe the direction and the path we are taking towards getting more efficient with how we use water stands and serves Uganda Breweries in very, very positive light as being a positive contributor to our environmental footprint.
Alfred Okidi, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Water and Environment, attributes the strain on existing water sources on the high rate of urbanization.
We have a rapidly growing population, and because of that,
we apologize for that. We'll bring you that story in detail at 10 o'clock. But now in sports, FUFA, through Uganda Cranes head coach Jonathan McKinstry, has made an arrangement for the Star Times Uganda Premier League coaches to attend the national teams training sessions ahead of the 2019 CECAFA Senior Challenge Cup. As a step forward in sharing coaching skills, McKinstry named a 30-man preliminary squad for the forthcoming 2019 CECAFA Senior Challenge Cup to be hosted by Uganda from the 7th to the 19th of December. The squad comprises of only home-based players, with training starting on Wednesday, 27th. KCCA FC, Proline FC and SC Villa players in the squad will report after completion of their club's first round Star Times Uganda Premier League matches as on 3rd December.
And to that end, we've been looking for opportunities to engage with the coaches here in Uganda, both in the Premier League and at other levels, to help them take the next step forward in their careers and their development as coaches. So with the CECAFA training sessions, what we're saying is we're opening those CECAFA training sessions up to coaches in Uganda to come and watch. They'll be provided.
With that, let's quickly take a look at the top stories for tonight. President Museveni opens Uganda-China South-South Cooperation Conference. Prime Minister Dr. Hakana Rugunda rallies Lamour residents on development. On the international scene, Catholic priests jailed for abusing deaf children in Argentina. While in sports, league coaches to attend national teams training sessions. Mugalu Mohammed on sign language. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. We do return at 10 o'clock with more details. But for now, we leave you with a weather update with Dafin Kabasita.
This weather update, Dafin Kabasita Nsamba is my name from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. We started the day with the cloudy conditions, with some areas having isolated showers, but then later in the afternoon we had sunny intervals in most parts of Uganda, apart from the western sector that still had cloudy conditions with isolated showers. According to the report that we had, Gulu reported the highest amount of rainfall of 31.2 millimeters. Bududa had 6.9 millimeters, and then Jinja we had 2.8 millimeters. millimeters. Checking on the satellite image of Africa, it shows that the rain belt is still over our country, thus we are still having isolated showers in most parts of Uganda. Tomorrow we're expecting to start the day with sunny intervals in most parts of the country, apart from some few areas around the lake where we're expecting isolated showers. Late in the afternoon, isolated showers expected in southwestern part of the country, but then other parts of Uganda we're expecting sunny intervals. Temperatures expected to rise to 29 degrees Celsius in the northern part of Uganda. Then around Lake Victoria, like in Kampala, we're expecting temperatures to rise to 26 and then 23 in Kabale Highlands. Going beyond Uganda, we're expecting Nairobi, Paris, London and New York to have showers, with temperatures rising to 12 degrees Celsius in London, so it's a bit cold in London. But then in Dubai, we're expecting sunny intervals with temperatures rising to 28 degrees Celsius. That's what we had in our store. For more information about that, don't hesitate to click on our website. Have a blessed evening.
Was brought to you by UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni will on the 4th of December 2019 lead Uganda in a walk against corruption. The State House Anti-Corruption Unit will be celebrating 1 year of fighting corruption. The President will be joined by the Right Honourable Speaker, His Lordship the Chief Justice, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, other government officials, traditional and civil society leaders. Themed A Corruption-Free Uganda. It starts with me. The walk will start at 8 a.m. from the Constitutional Square to Kololo Airstrip. The Chief Walker, His Excellency